not a guy breaking into your house with a hammer naked in the middle of the night. Bad, but it's bad. Guy stole a wallet from a vehicle the other night, then used the victim's credit card at a store on Broad Street. SLO PD put this out on their Facebook page. They said, hey, if you guys recognize him, please give us a call. Let us know. Hashtag help catch a thief.
It's got to be tough to be a criminal nowadays. I mean, there's so many cameras everywhere, and then social media.
Is it tough to be a criminal? Because I feel like I've never been asked for my ID when giving anybody a credit card.
Oh, really? Yeah, I mean, it happens every once in a while.
I actually never, ever do.
I write CID on the back of my credit card instead of signing it.
I've never even signed my credit card.
And every once in a while, it's rare, though. It is rare. But every once in a while, somebody asks me for my ID, and I'm like, you know what? And the first thing I do is I say, hey, thank you for doing that. Because most people don't. I think the last time I was getting a Whopper, Burger King. Like, hey, do you have your ID with you? I'm like, yeah, I do. Thanks.
Oh, I did sign the back of my debit card.
Yeah, because the signature thing, anybody can do a signature. But I write CID because I want people to actually check the
Look
ID.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing. Nothing. So if there's nothing,
wait, is that an airline's
card? What
card?
is the clerk supposed to do?
Is that an airline's card?
Uh-huh.
Look at you.
I've had this forever.
You took my advice.
No, I've had
this.
this.
You got the Alaska Airlines card.
I've had this for 12 years.
Hold on, let me see it.
What do you see?
That's the new card. Get out of here.
It's a new card because they send you replacements whenever they go expired.
Hey, just admit, you took my advice. You said, that Jeremy's got a good idea.
I got this 12 years ago when we first moved here.
Okay.
And I remember thinking at the time that's kind of a dumb idea because Alaska didn't fly into the market.
It's like a $75 annual fee, so you're obviously using it, right?
I know. I hate the $75 annual fee.
Well, if you never have to pay for airplane tickets, then you're fine.
You get the companion fare.
Yeah. Anyways, sorry to distract you, but yeah, people don't ever ask for your ID when you're doing cards. And nowadays, it's so easy. I mean, my phone.
Why not?
I can just this system they have now. I can just double click my phone. Let's see, there it is, right there. I've got 2 credit cards. I got my wife's, and then this one's mine, and I can just pay with that now, the credit card machine. But you have to steal my phone, and you have to know my code or have my fingerprint.
That's pretty slick. I got to do that. I'm going to have to do that.
I don't know if you can do it on those droids.
I'm sure you can. Because they probably
I'm sure you can.
introduced the technology on droids, and then Apple picked it up on it.
Made it better.
And then made a press release about it. Like, by the way, we have this amazing new thing that we're doing.
Yeah, and most people just don't ask for your card. And you can tell
don't. It's crazy.
I like to go to the places that do, because that isn't just the kid or the person taking your card. It's usually the store policy. And I'm like, I like to do business with people like
in this instance, this guy could have been stopped from using a victim's credit card at a store on the 4th.
Put that store on blast.
4,000 block of Broad Street. Okay, and here's the thing.
I want to know, is that Rite Aid? CVS? I mean,
I don't know. Where's 4,000 block?
Broad Street. Broad. Well, that's Broad.
Is it Marigold
and Monterey?
4,000 block.
Marsh.
The 4,000 block would be away from town.
Oh, okay.
So I'm thinking it's out by us.
You're better at
because we're at the 3,600.
Okay, yeah.
So yeah,
it's one of the stores in the Marigold Shopping Center.
It must have been.
Put them on blast.
So okay.
It looks like a dollar store if you look at the stuff. Oh, or it could be that CVS by Starbucks in the corner.
Yeah, I don't know.
Put them on blast. If we start blasting people that don't check IDs, they're going to start checking IDs.
IDs. Why not put the responsibility of the cost of resources? Like if I were to climb up on Morro Rock, I'm responsible for my rescue efforts. Any costs associated to my rescue efforts, correct?
Right.
Doesn't the store have a level of responsibility to at least go through the checking process to see if this is the guy?
If you can prove that they at least tried, then yes, I would say the store does. But how do you prove that? That's the problem.
You have cameras. They have.
Well, not everybody has cameras.
They have cameras catching the guy's picture.
Not everybody has cameras. We don't have cameras here. Somebody came here to buy something.
Yeah, but we don't sell stuff.
You know what I mean?
But what I'm saying is like.
But what about when they're buying stuff online?
I swear, I could say that the last 50 times that I've bought something with any kind of card, I've never been asked for my ID. Now, I usually use a keypad or something like that, so that's my ID verification. But this guy did not have that verification means. He gave them a credit card. They ran it.
So you want to make the stores responsible that are taking the fraudulent card?
Yes, I think if you process a claim that is
They're
fraudulent.
gonna have to get it. They'll all go out and get insurance policies on this. Insurance companies will end up making all the money on this because they'll have to pay for insurance policies. And guess who pays for that? That's going to increase their cost of business, which is they're going to pass down to the consumer. And now products are going to cost more.
Well, then maybe
That's why things are FDIC insured.
Public relations standpoint, from a public relations standpoint, maybe you should say, yeah, we check all IDs.
Now, I like it, though. I like doing business with people to check IDs. I agree with you there.
Because now the police department's involved.
Well, they got to be.
So that those resources have to be accounted for.
But then when they catch this guy,
what pays for those resources? Our tax dollars.
When they catch this clown, yeah, work it off. Take it out of his paychecks. Make him go to jail, and then when he gets a job,
he's not a violent,
restitution.
He's not a violent crime guy. He's a
yeah. What you were saying.
He's a thief.
Put him to work. I don't care if you're working at Wendy's.
Yeah,
we're taking half your paycheck. Of course, then he'll never get a job because it's just a circle of just grossness. But it would be nice if businesses, check
the circle of grossness could be stopped in the beginning by a guy saying, "Hey, can I see your ID?" When the guy shows up with a credit card. If you're having to sign for your credit card purchase, the ID should be mandatory. It should be mandatory to give to the clerk. Okay?
If you're at Idler's today and you're working Idler's and somebody comes in and I'm sure they're going to check your ID there if you buy anything at Idler's. If you're at Big Creek Lumber and somebody comes in to buy some wood. They sell wood there, right? Nails, whatever they sell. Check their ID. Say, hey.
I'm sure they are. I'm sure they are at those places. It's like you said, the 18-year-old kid behind the counter doesn't give a rat's ass. That's the problem. The problem is the guy that does not care. He's like, oh, I don't know. Believe me, I was one of those guys when I worked at the rental car field. Like, hey, give me an ID. That's fine. You can give me an ID.
I'm curious if there's anybody out there that's caught somebody. I was working for minimum wage, and then I got tips.
What was your level of commitment to the minimum wage job?
Well, because of the tips, that was minimum wage was like a secondary thing. So, I'm trying to think other jobs.
Wilson Suede and Leather. What was your?
That was more than minimum wage, but.
What was your level of commitment? Weren't you like salesperson of the region?
Region, yeah.
For a
couple quarters.
For a couple quarters, and they gave you a pizza?
They gave me a certificate, for a pizza.
Yeah. Once I got that certificate for the pizza, I'd be like, level of commitment for this job, not that high.
I grew up in a family where work ethic was a big thing. So I actually had more work ethic before I was 30 than I do now.
Maybe my wife grew up in a similar family. There was a girl that she worked for one of the boutiques downtown, and there was a girl that came in and they were watching her because she looked like she was a bit suspect and that she might try to take off with some things. So the girl grabbed a pair of jeans, and the boutique was ridiculously overpriced. Like the clothing.
I know where she used to work. Yeah,
in the boutique,
$100 tank tops.
Yeah, jeans are like $350. I mean, it was just ridiculous.
So this girl they were watching, did she try to steal them?
She goes and she grabs the jeans and she runs. She runs and she runs and she runs. She's running down Higuera. And this was over a decade ago, so I don't know what the businesses were in that lay in the path. But she runs down Higuera in front of Tom's Toys, in front of McClintock's, and then cuts across by Old San Luis Barbecue, which at the time was a coffee shop. And that little bridge that goes back behind the Mexican restaurant?
Yeah, it goes over the creek.
It goes over the creek, and
I know it.
So
I've been on it.
My wife chases her all the way down there from near Frog and Pete.
What's she gonna do when she catches her?
That's exactly what I ask her. I'm like, what are you?
She a UFC fighter?
What is your plan?
She MMA martial arts?
What you apprehend her? This girl sees that my wife is relentless, is not going to let up.
Maybe she just she figures
she chucks the pants.
Oh, okay.
Into the creek, which makes them useless at that point, and continues running. And my wife stops the pursuit because
she went to get the pants.
There's no jeans.
Yeah,
there's no jeans.
Maybe that's what your wife was thinking. If she drops the pants, I can at least get the pants back. And maybe I'm scared of her, but that she threw them in the creek.
No, she felt like she was wronged. She felt like she was wrong. I said, well, what was your end game in that? Because you put yourself at risk in that situation. It was not a wise move. She says, I felt like I was wrong.
Listen, there's a reason people become cops. There's a reason people watch Cops and Live PD. is we don't like to see people get away with something that we're not getting away with, or we don't want to see somebody else get away with something. So we will do whatever it takes to go after them. You never worked anywhere with somebody, you caught somebody doing something, stealing something? I'm trying to think if I ever caught somebody. I know there had to be something.
No, there was this one time, though, that these cars were disappearing from our lot, and it's because we didn't have a security. We had a false security thing where we had that arm.
A gate, you mean?
The gate, yeah. The gate that you pull up to.
Yeah, and it would open?
It would open up. But the gate was there only for visual purposes to tell thieves that, oh, watch out, they've got a gate. But the gate would open up whenever anybody pulled up to it. And all a thief had to do was spend 45 seconds looking at the gate mechanism and see every car that pulled up to it and said, okay, I can steal cars. And we left the keys in every single car because we had to move them around frequently.
And there was always somebody there. It wasn't like you left the keys in the car and then took off and closed the lot for the night. You were talking about the rental car place by the airport?
What we would do is we would take the keys from the car that was parked in the front, and we would put them inside all the keys in the other cars that would block in the cars. Those would stay in the car in the cars. But during the day, during working hours,
things would get moved.
So many people are working, moving around. Times get busy. There were people that would just walk on the lot, jump into a car with the keys in it, take off and steal it. And it ended up in Yakima in a chop shop, and they would lose money on the cars. So what they did is they hired a security guard. Security guard sat on the corner of the building, right? We're like, okay. My friend Aaron, very funny guy. And he looked like an ex-con because he had the shaved head. He had tattoos everywhere. Really nice guy, but just he had that hardcore look to him, you know. And he goes, you know what I'm going to do? He's from Houston, so he had an accent. He goes, I'm going to go act like I'm stealing one of these cars and see if the security guard even notices. So, I mean, in what could only amount to a scene from a skit on Saturday Night Live, Aaron goes in, he grabs a hoodie, he pulls it up over his head. It's 95 degrees out in the middle of the sun. Pulls the hoodie over his head. He's walking around the building. He's looking. He's like, I wish we had a camera in here right now because I actually have a hoodie on today. And so I got the hoodie on. He's walking around and he's got a
crowbar?
Coat hanger.
Oh, coat hanger.
So it's one of the wire coat hangers, and he's got it all stretched out like he's going to use it as a Slim Jim in the car.
Oh, gotcha.
So he's walking around the building. He's hiding around the corners over here, and he's over here. He's hiding around the corners, and he's like looking around. He's looking to see if the security guard was sleeping in the chair like this, hands on his stomach. So he goes over there. He's like, this guy's got to wake up at some point, right? So he's over there. He's doing the thing. With the
hanger, yeah,
coat hanger, he's
trying to jimmy the car,
jimmying up and down. Then he acts like he gets in. He's like, woo! Throws his arms in the air. Then gets in, jumps in the car, drives right off the lot. We have a meeting the next Tuesday. I think every Tuesday we had meetings. And Aaron says to the general manager, he goes, how much you paying the security guard? Like, we're paying him like. And I remember it pissed everybody off because he was making way more than what everybody else was. I think we're paying him like $16 an hour, and I think at the time we were making like
12,
8 or 9.
Oh wow!
And
so double.
We're like, really? Because that guy's not a very good worker.
Did you get him fired?
Yes, we did. We got him.
Real proud of yourself.
We got him fired.
Did you get a raise?
No.
For sleeping in cars when no one was around?
No, but
what you used to do?
I did realize that the whole sleeping thing, if that guy's getting paid $16 to sleep, then I'm fine sleeping for $8 to $9.
Subscribe to the Jeff and Jeremy podcast now on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, and YouTube. It's your Central Coast commute-friendly podcast.